Most sports need both strength and endurance to maximise performance. To develop these physical qualities, athletes often perform resistance and aerobic training in the same training block, known as concurrent training. When programming concurrent training, the intensity of resistance and aerobic training are thought to play a vital role in the gains made. As a result, the article published in the Strength and Conditioning Journal, titled Concurrent Training Intensities, a Practical Approach for Program Design, by António, Sousa and colleagues, provide recommendations to enable coaches to efficiently design a program that involves concurrent training in order to maximise sports performance. This presentation, brought to you by Talking Sports Science, will be a summary of their recommendations. First off, in terms of general recommendations, training at least twice a week in a concurrent training design for a minimum of 6 weeks is needed for positive effects. Training should adhere to the principle of specificity and comprise specific exercises depending on the demands of the sport. If an athlete requires a period of reduced training, for recovery purposes for example, 2 weeks of detraining can be undertaken without performance losses. And moving on to the recommendations for the resistance training component. High velocity movements should be programmed, and it is recommended exercises with external loads, for example squats or bench press, should be combined with ballistic movements, for example ball throws or jumps, with ballistic exercise included at the start. For the external load, a moderate to high load, for example above 55% of 1 repetition maximum, using less than 8 reps per set, is recommended. In terms of the recovery, more than 2 minutes rest between sets is recommended. And for progression, this should be achieved by increasing the number of sets instead of repetitions. And moving on to the recommendations for the aerobic training component. Aerobic training should follow the resistance training. Low intensities, for example less than 75% of maximal aerobic capacity, are recommended. And high intensities above VO2 max should be performed for cardiorespiratory gains. A polarised approach for training intensity during a season is recommended. Whereby 65% of aerobic training should be performed below ventilatory threshold. This is the point during exercise at which ventilation starts to increase at a faster rate than oxygen consumption. And 10% of training should be performed above the respiratory compensation threshold. This is the point at which the exercise intensity increases and excessive carbon dioxide is removed by heavy breathing. And that concludes the recommendations for developing both strength and endurance in a concurrent training block. Thanks for listening, folks. See you next time.